Hey everyone, I'm back with another update. In this episode, I'll cover news related to Iran, immigration, rampant fraud, and updates from the Health and Human Services Department. Of course, I'll end with the noteworthy tidbits. Secretary of State Marco Rubio confirmed the United States fully supports the people of Iran opposing the tyrannical regime, and on the 10th, the regime shut off the electricity in Tehran where massive protests were taking place. That didn't stop the protesters, though, because they used the flashlights on their phones and started fires to ensure they were still seen in large numbers. On the 11th, anti Khamenei protesters destroyed police vehicles, and President Trump confirmed military strikes against Iran were being considered after protesters were killed. Trump also said he's talking with Elon Musk to give the Iranian people Starlink, even though it was banned by the regime. There were anti Khamenei protests in the United Kingdom and America as well, and unfortunately, a man plowed a U-Haul vehicle through a massive crowd of protesters in Los Angeles, hitting multiple people. The U-Haul vehicle had anti-regime change messaging on it, and the driver was dragged out of the vehicle by police. The crowd mobbed the area and smashed up the vehicle, and then continued their demonstrations. On to immigration-related news. Representative Ayanna Pressley is pushing legislation to abolish ICE, and the Department of Homeland Security is launching criminal investigations into the funders of anti-ICE obstructionists, with criminal conspiracy charges being considered. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent confirmed the U.S. Treasury is also actively investigating these funders, and Americans are calling for the National Guard to be deployed to Minneapolis after police surrendered to protesters, letting them break into hotels and loot. People are demanding the arrest of Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey and Governor Tim Walz, claiming they're inciting violence. Representative Ilhan Omar was blocked from storming inside the ICE facility near Minneapolis while leading a paid protest, and a new video of Renee Good actively blocking agents with her vehicle for several minutes was released. Several anti-ICE rioters were arrested for assaulting federal agents, but despite all the protests, a deportation flight still managed to take off from Minneapolis. Let's switch to rampant fraud. Secretary Bessent revealed that Governor Walz refused to guarantee that Bessent would have security in the Minnesota state capitol, which sounds to me like Walz is trying to prevent Bessent from finding he's complacent in the fraud. The Minnesota legislative auditor confirmed Walz's employees fabricated records to cover up fraud as they conducted zero site visits to locations that received hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars per year. Representative Omar is being investigated over reports she and her husband enriched themselves through the Somali fraud, and more citizen journalists went into a Somali building with 34 so-called home health companies all in the same building, and the people in the building tried to kick them out. Ohio attorney Mahik Cook received the same treatment at a care center, which appears to be a pattern of physical intimidation towards Cook during her investigations in Ohio. Cook confirmed these daycares can backdate their records, so if a child doesn't show up, they can cook the books to still receive taxpayer dollars, and immediate investigations and audits into New York are being demanded after the state's Medicaid program lost $1.2 billion to fraud and scammers. Shifting to news from the Health and Human Services Department. FDA Commissioner Marty McCary confirmed the FDA purposefully lied for 2 decades against dietary fats so people avoided fat and ate more sugar instead, making them unhealthy. HHS Secretary RFK Jr. said they suppressed data for 16 years, showing that those in the low-fat group had higher rates of heart attacks. Secretary Kennedy pointed out that health costs will lower once Americans start eating healthy food, and he confirmed grocery stores that take food stamps will be required to double the amount of real, whole foods in stock. With junk food and soda being removed from SNAP, there will certainly be a need for more healthy options available. Now it's time for the noteworthy tidbits, which are brought to you today by Zevo Life. Let me tell you about them quick. Looking for a game-changing way to improve your health? Zevo Life is the world's most nutrient-dense whole plant, packed with over 50% plant protein, essential amino acids, fiber, and antioxidants. Harnessing the best nature has to offer, Zevo Life nourishes your body while driving your performance, vitality, and overall well-being. Each serving is a concentrated source of clean, well-balanced nutrition designed to support modern lifestyles, and just 1 teaspoon a day supports your gut, boosts energy, and promotes healthier skin and hair. It's no wonder that it's receiving rave 5-star reviews. Step into a healthier future with a 30% discount and a 30-day risk-free guarantee by visiting zivo.life and using my promo code. To support my show and to receive 30% off your entire order, enter in my promo code JADE, that's JADE, at checkout. All right, let's get back to the tidbits. Venezuela started releasing their political prisoners, and President Trump revealed the new Venezuelan president is fully cooperating with the United States. California Governor Gavin Newsom reportedly shut down public access to ghost daycare data, and he's being accused of covering his tracks by hiding fraud. The Department of War unleashed airstrikes against Islamic terrorists in Syria as payback for the 2 Iowa National Guard troops they killed. President Trump cut off oil and money to Cuba, urging them to make a deal before it is too late. I couldn't find a definitive explanation for the type of deal Trump is looking for, but it looks like he could mean a trade deal and for Cuba to become an ally. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington, D.C. opened a criminal investigation into Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, with the investigation being centered around whether Powell lied to Congress about the cost of renovations to Federal Reserve office buildings. Citizen journalist David Kate exposed that people in Atlanta are registered to vote at abandoned homes with no one living in the residences for several years. That's all I have for today. I'll be back with another update soon. Until then, please like, subscribe, and share this podcast, and follow me on Instagram and X at Shades of Jade Pod. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.